Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something right off the top. Narcissists don't want love. They want control. They don't want honesty. They want submission. And the moment you stop playing by their rules, that's when the fear kicks in, but not in you, in them. Now, maybe you've been gaslighted. Maybe you've been talked down to, manipulated, lied to, and made to feel like you're the problem. You start second guessing your worth, questioning your sanity, losing sleep at night because someone else keeps rewinding the truth like a broken record. Sound familiar? Here's the good news. They're not as powerful as they seem. In fact, they're terrified. Terrified of being seen, exposed, and rejected by someone who finally gets it. Someone who says, I know who you are. And I'm not scared. You don't have to scream. You don't need a scene. You just need the right words said with the right tone at the right time, and they'll never look at you the same way again. This ain't about revenge. This is about reclaiming your peace, your confidence, and your voice. I'm going to walk you through 6 powerful things you need to understand about narcissists. And I promise, by the end of this message, you'll know exactly what to say to shake their world. So lean in, listen close, because the next few minutes could give you back years of your life. Let's go. Narcissists fear exposure more than anything. That's their kryptonite. See, they build their whole identity on being admired, respected, even worshipped. They wear a mask so polished, so carefully crafted, that most people never look beyond it. But when you finally say, I see you, I know exactly who you are, that mask starts to crack. And nothing scares a narcissist more than the thought of being truly seen. You gotta understand, narcissists live for image. They don't care about truth. They care about perception. They want to look like the hero, the victim, the smartest person in the room. But when you recognize their manipulation, when you calmly point it out, not with rage, but with clarity, they feel cornered. You've taken away their favorite toy, control. And it doesn't have to be a long speech. Just one sentence can do it. Just saying something like, I know who you really are, and I'm no longer fooled, hits them like thunder. It's not loud, but it's heavy. Because in that moment, you're no longer their puppet. You're no longer reacting, begging, explaining. You're just stating truth. And truth is poison to a narcissist's game. They depend on secrecy. They thrive in confusion. They want you constantly guessing. Was it my fault? Did I overreact? Maybe I misunderstood. But when you speak clarity into that fog, when you stand there and name what they are without flinching, it's like turning the lights on in a haunted house. Suddenly, all the shadows disappear and they can't hide anymore. Now, here's the key. You don't say it with anger. You say it with peace. You don't scream it to tear them down. You say it to lift yourself up. Because when you stay calm, when you speak truth without being emotional, you show them something they never expected. You're not under their spell anymore. You're not afraid. You're awake. Let me give you a real-world example. Imagine someone constantly belittling you in front of others, playing it off as just a joke. And when you confront them, they say, you're too sensitive. Classic narcissist move. They shift the blame, make you feel wrong for feeling wronged. But next time, instead of arguing or defending yourself, just look them in the eye and say, I know what you're doing, and it doesn't work on me anymore. That sentence right there, it'll stop them cold, because they know the game is up. You're not biting the bait. You're not playing defense. You've moved out of their illusion and into reality. That sentence draws a line in the sand. Not a fight, not an insult, just a clear boundary. And they hate boundaries they didn't create. Narcissists feed off of your confusion, your fear, your silence. But when you say, I see the pattern, I see the control, I'm not blind anymore, you take the power back. You make it clear that they don't own your perception of the world. They don't define you. They don't get to twist your truth. It might not change them. In fact, it probably won't. Narcissists rarely change, but this isn't about changing them. This is about freeing you, because once you recognize the mask and stop fearing it, you get your life back. You stop walking on eggshells. You stop waiting for approval. You stop explaining yourself to someone who never planned on understanding you in the first place. So the next time that narcissist tries to play their game, whether it's guilt-tripping you love, bombing you, or making you question your own memory, pause, breathe, then speak truth. Something simple, something real, something like, I know who you are, and I'm not afraid to walk away. Say it once with conviction, and it'll echo in their mind for a long time. Not because you hurt them, but because you stop letting them hurt you. That's when you stop being their supply, their puppet, their project, and you become their biggest fear, a person who sees them clearly and doesn't need them anymore. Narcissists thrive on control. That's their game. They want to pull the strings, push your buttons, and keep you dancing to their tune. The more you react, the more you fall into their trap. They know exactly how to get a rise out of you, whether it's by ignoring you, insulting you in subtle ways, or pretending you don't matter right after making you feel like you're everything. It's a cycle, a loop. And as long as you keep reacting, they keep winning. But the moment you stop reacting, that's when the game changes. See, narcissists aren't strong. They just act like they are. Their power doesn't come from being truly in control. It comes from convincing you that you have none. When you start to realize this, when you start to see that your reactions are the fuel for their fire, you begin to understand how to disarm them. And it's not by yelling, it's not by pleading, it's not even by arguing, it's by going silent and staying grounded, by responding instead of reacting. Let's say a narcissist says something insulting to you in front of others, something they can easily play off as a joke. Before, you might have gotten upset, tried to defend yourself, maybe even snap back, and they'd love that. That's their playground. But what if instead you just look at them completely unfazed and you say, interesting, and move on? Now they're left spinning because you didn't feed them. You didn't give them the attention or the drama they were hoping for. You didn't give them control. You gave them silence and maturity, and they don't know what to do with that. That's the moment they start to feel weak because they can't dominate someone who won't play the game. Narcissists want to be the center of your emotional universe. If they can't make you happy, they want to be the reason you're angry, confused, or sad. As long as they're in your head, they feel powerful. But when you stop reacting, you stop giving them free rent in your mind. You stop giving them a front row seat to your emotions. You start building boundaries that aren't made of words. They're made of action. And nothing hits a narcissist harder than silence paired with strength. This doesn't mean you stay quiet to be passive. It means you stay calm to be powerful, because silence doesn't mean weakness. In fact, when used right, it's the loudest statement you can make. It says, you don't get to shake me. You don't control how I feel. I decide how I respond. It's not easy, especially if the narcissist is someone close, like a partner, a parent, a boss. But remember, your power is not in controlling them. Your power is in not letting them control you. It's in knowing when to disengage, when to walk away, when to protect your peace and leave their drama behind. You'll notice something strange happens when you stop reacting. The narcissist might try harder at first. They might provoke you more, try to get under your skin. It's because they're panicking. They can feel the control slipping. Don't give it back to them. Let them struggle with the silence. Let them sit in their discomfort. That's not your burden to carry. And over time, you'll feel it, the peace, the clarity, the freedom that comes from no longer being yanked around by someone else's drama. You'll start to feel strong in ways you didn't know you could. Because silence teaches you discipline. It teaches you power. It teaches you that not every attack needs a counterattack. Sometimes the best move is to stand still and say nothing, because your calm is louder than their chaos. So next time a narcissist tries to bait you, remember this: your reaction is their reward. Don't give it to them. Keep your peace. Stay grounded, and let them be confused by your strength. When they realize they can no longer get to you, they'll fear you. Not because you hurt them, but because you outgrew them. When you deal with a narcissist, one of the most powerful things you can ever say is no. That simple, one-syllable word might not seem like much, but to a narcissist, it's a thunderclap. It's a locked door they can't open, a boundary they can't bulldoze, a wall they didn't build, and it drives them crazy. Because in their mind, your no isn't just a refusal. It's a rebellion. It's you taking back control of your life. Narcissists expect you to always say yes. Yes to their demands. Yes to their manipulation. Yes to doing things their way. They want you to be so afraid of upsetting them that you forget what you want, what you need, and what you deserve. So when you finally say no, especially calmly and clearly, you're breaking that invisible chain they've tried to wrap around you. And in that moment, you stop being their puppet and start being your own person again. But here's the thing. Saying no doesn't always feel good at first, especially if you've been trained consciously or unconsciously to keep the peace, to please people, or to avoid conflict at all costs. Narcissists take advantage of that. They sense the hesitation in your voice. They see the discomfort in your body language. So they keep pushing. They make you feel guilty. They act like you're being unreasonable. They twist the story and say you're the selfish one. And that's why standing firm in your no is so important. Not shouting, not explaining, just standing. Because the more you justify your boundaries, the more cracks you leave open for them to slip through. You don't owe them a debate. You don't have to prove why your no is valid. You just have to say it and mean it. For example, if a narcissist wants your time, maybe they demand that you drop everything to help them. Even though you've got your own life to manage, you have the right to say, "I'm not available." Not, "I'm sorry, but I'm really busy and maybe later, and I wish I could." Just a straight up, respectful, "No, I can't do that." Watch how they respond. The silence, the stare, the sudden coldness. That's because they're not used to boundaries. They don't like limits. But limits are exactly what keep you safe. Every time you say no, you're telling the narcissist, "I'm not here for your control. I have my own mind, my own needs, my own life, and I don't need your permission to live it." Here's the beautiful part. Once you start saying no, it gets easier. You begin to feel stronger. You start to trust yourself more. And that's when everything changes. You stop seeking their approval. You stop walking on eggshells. You stop letting fear make your decisions for you. Instead, you start living from a place of clarity, peace, and self-respect. Saying no also protects your energy. Narcissists are experts at draining people. They take and take, but rarely give. They leave you feeling exhausted, confused, and unsure of yourself. But when you set that boundary and say, "No, this is where I stop giving," you keep your energy where it belongs with you. You protect your peace, your time, your emotional space. And that's not selfish, that's survival. Sometimes the narcissist will try to punish you for saying no. They'll withdraw affection, go silent, badmouth you, or even play the victim to make you look like the bad guy. Don't fall for it. That's just manipulation wearing a new outfit. Stay calm, stay firm. Don't let their storm pull you into chaos. Your no is not an attack. It's a statement of self-worth. And the moment you stop defending your right to say it, You step into a new level of strength. You don't have to be mean. You don't have to be cold. You just have to be clear. No is a full sentence. You're not rejecting the narcissist's humanity. You're rejecting their control. And that's exactly what they fear most. So if you've been feeling like you've lost your power, like your voice doesn't matter, like someone else is holding the pen to your life story, start small. Start with no. Say it once. Say it twice. Say it until it stops shaking in your throat and starts standing tall in your spirit. Because the day you say now without guilt is the day you take your life back. When you're dealing with a narcissist, one of the most powerful things you can do is stay calm while they're trying to provoke you. See, narcissists feed off reactions. They thrive on drama. They want to see you flinch, yell, cry, or get emotional because that tells them they've got power over you. Your reaction is their reward. So when you stay calm, you take that power away. You shut off their fuel. And believe me, nothing unsettles a narcissist more than realizing they can't get to you. Now, I'm not saying it's easy. It's not. When someone is pushing every button you have, when they're twisting your words, lying straight to your face, or disrespecting you in the sneakiest ways, it's human to want to react. You want to defend yourself, explain your side, prove them wrong. That's natural. But here's the trap: narcissists want that reaction. They've set it up like a chess game, and they know that the moment you lose your cool, they win. Because once you're emotional, they've got the upper hand. They can say, see, you're the crazy one. Or they can twist your reaction into justification for their behavior. And now you're stuck in a loop, defending your emotions while they sit back and act calm and collected. But what if you flip the script? What if instead of reacting, you responded with silence or composure? What if you gave them nothing to feed on? That right there is power. Imagine they come at you with sarcasm, passive-aggressive comments, or backhanded compliments. Instead of snapping back or giving them the satisfaction of your hurt, you just raise your eyebrow, smile calmly, and move on. You act like their words didn't land. That silence, that calm response, it echoes in their mind. It tells them, you don't control me, you don't shake me, and it drives them crazy. Now, I know what you're thinking, but won't they think they've won if I stay calm and walk away? No, because narcissists aren't looking to win in the way normal people do. They're looking to control your emotions. They want to stir your peace, not solve a problem. So the real win is in denying them the chaos they crave. They expect you to argue. They expect you to cry. They expect you to beg or lose your temper. But when you stay calm, it confuses them. It throws off their whole game plan. Staying calm isn't weakness. It's strength in disguise. It's discipline. And it sends a clear message. I don't need your approval, and I don't dance to your tune. And the more you practice this, the stronger you get. You realize you don't have to participate in every fight you're invited to. You can choose peace over drama. You can choose self-respect over emotional games. You'll also start noticing something else. The narcissist may ramp up their behavior. That's because they hate losing control. So don't be surprised if they try harder to push your buttons. They might get louder, meaner, more dramatic. That's not a sign that your calm isn't working. It's a sign that it is. You're disrupting the pattern. You're not feeding the cycle. And eventually, they either adjust or they move on to find someone else who will react the way they want. Here's the truth: narcissists don't fear your anger. They expect it. What they fear is your indifference. They fear your silence. They fear your calm, steady presence that refuses to rise to their bait. That kind of energy makes them uncomfortable because it shows them you're no longer under their spell. So next time you feel the urge to clap back, to raise your voice, or to defend yourself to someone who's not even listening, pause. Breathe. Remind yourself that your calm is your strength. You don't have to match their energy. You don't have to prove anything. You already have the power, and it's in your ability to choose peace when chaos is knocking. Let them throw their storm. You be the rock. Let them scream. You stay still, let them bait you. You smile and walk away. Because at the end of the day, the one who stays calm is always the one who truly wins. One of the most powerful ways to make a narcissist regret trying to manipulate you is to show them that you don't need them. And I don't mean just saying it, I mean living it. Because narcissists crave attention, admiration, and control. They need to feel like they're the center of your world. The second they sense you're pulling away, becoming independent, or worse, thriving without them, that's when their world starts to shake. That's when they start to panic. You have to understand that narcissists build their identity around how much control they have over the people around them. They like to feel superior. They want you to depend on them emotionally, financially, or mentally. They'll act like they're doing you a favor, like you need their approval to be valuable. They want to be the sun in your sky. Without them, they want you to feel like you're in total darkness. So when you start showing up for yourself, building your own light, and making progress without their input, that's a direct threat to their ego. Let me give you a real picture. Say you were in a relationship with a narcissist, romantic, family, or work-related. It doesn't matter. This person constantly made you feel like you weren't good enough. They downplayed your dreams, talked over your ideas, and made you feel like your worth was tied to them. They wanted you to believe that without their validation, you were nothing. But here's the twist. Once you step back, once you stop seeking their approval and start investing that energy into yourself, you shift the power dynamic. You're telling them, I've realized I'm enough. I don't need your permission to succeed. That, my friend, is when the regret starts to kick in. Because narcissists don't expect people to break free. They don't expect you to rise. They expect you to stay stuck, questioning yourself, wondering what you did wrong. But when you show up and start living your life on your own terms, it's like a slap of reality they never saw coming. You don't even need to say a word. Your growth speaks louder than any confrontation ever could. Imagine they see you smiling again, not because they gave you permission, but because you found joy in your own journey. Imagine they hear about you doing something bold, starting a business, writing a book, going on that trip, getting healthy. Not to prove a point, but because you decided to take your life back. That kind of silent glow up hits hard. That's when they start saying things like, you've changed. But the truth is, you didn't change. You just stopped shrinking to fit their expectations. Living like you don't need them isn't about revenge. It's about healing. It's about taking the time they wasted and turning it into something beautiful. You use that pain as fuel to build a life so strong, so grounded, that their opinion doesn't even register anymore. That's the moment they realize they don't own you anymore. That's the moment they regret ever trying to make you small. You don't have to yell. You don't have to send long texts explaining how they hurt you. You just rise. Quietly, consistently, daily. You keep doing your thing, and soon enough, their name won't even come up in your story, because your story will be too full of growth, purpose, and peace. So, if you've ever asked yourself how to truly make a narcissist regret the way they treated you, here's the answer. Live like they don't exist, not out of hate, but out of freedom. Let them see you happy, peaceful, fulfilled. Not because of them, but in spite of them. Let them realize they don't get to define your worth, control your future, or dim your shine. You've taken that power back. And there's no better revenge than living well, completely and unapologetically on your own terms. The most powerful thing you can ever do when dealing with a narcissist is to stop reacting. I mean that. Stop explaining. Stop defending. Stop trying to prove your point, because that's exactly what they want you to do. See, a narcissist thrives on your reaction. They live for that emotional response. When you're angry, when you're crying, when you're frustrated, those are signs to them that they still have power over you, that they still have control. You've got to understand something deep. Narcissists don't just want to win an argument. They want to dominate your mind. They want to keep you on edge, questioning yourself, trying to fix things that you didn't even break. And every time you react, every time you raise your voice or get emotional, you're giving them what they crave: attention and control. But the moment you stop reacting, that's when they start to lose. Picture this. A narcissist says something cruel or sarcastic, expecting you to snap. They throw in a backhanded compliment, trying to poke at your insecurities. They want to see you flinch, but you don't. You stay calm. You look at them like their words carry no weight. You give them silence, or even better, a smile that says, "I see you, and you don't move me." That silence, that peace, that's louder than any argument. That tells them you've grown past their games. They may try harder at first. They'll push buttons they never pushed before. They'll try to guilt you, gaslight you, maybe even pretend to be the victim. But don't fall for it. That's their panic talking. That's them realizing that you're not the same person they used to control, that you've leveled up, that you now have boundaries, confidence, and emotional self-control. And believe me, nothing scares a narcissist more than someone who doesn't react. This doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're wise. It means you've learned that arguing with a narcissist is like fighting smoke. You'll never win because the goalpost keeps moving. They're not looking for truth. They're looking for chaos. And when you choose not to play, they're left standing alone in their drama. That silence becomes your shield. It protects your peace. It keeps your energy where it belongs, with you. You want them to regret messing with you. Then don't give them the drama they're begging for. Give them stillness. Let them talk to themselves. Let them sit in the echo chamber they created. When they see that their tactics no longer get to you, they start to panic, because that reaction used to be their proof that they mattered, that they were in control. But now you've taken that back. You've disconnected the emotional wires they used to pull. You want to win. Stop explaining yourself to someone who doesn't listen. Stop defending your truth to someone who twists every word you say. Stop lowering your voice to reach someone who's already chosen not to understand you. Your peace is your power. Your silence is your message. And your growth is their regret. Here's the truth: narcissists are addicted to control. So when you stop reacting, you take their supply away. You starve the ego that once fed off your pain. And what you'll notice is this: they'll either try to find someone else to control, or they'll try to come back pretending to be changed. But don't be fooled. Keep your peace. Keep your boundaries. You've already won by not engaging. This isn't about revenge. It's about rising. It's about choosing yourself over chaos. It's about refusing to let someone else's toxicity infect your life, because you deserve better. You deserve calm. You deserve freedom. And the moment you stop reacting, you take a step closer to that freedom. Let your stillness speak. Let your silence echo. That's how you make a narcissist regret ever thinking they could break you.